Welcome to the Profit Share Mastery Podcast with your hosts, Linda and Pres McKissack.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Profit Share Mastery. I'm Linda McKissack.
And I'm Pres McKissack.
Hey, Pres. So we're here back for another episode of what one of our favorite subjects here at Keller Williams is, which is Profit Share.
Well, not just Profit Share. We're talking Growth Share today.
Oh, yes. We have a great surprise. So why don't you introduce our guest and kick us off?
Well, we have the wonderful Lisette Montoto. And if you watched our summit last year, you actually got to hear from Lisette as she walked you through what she does around Growth Share and how she helps our amazing Keller Williams agents go take advantage of that opportunity. So what I guess what a lot of people don't know, Linda, is that Profit Share is only in the United States and Canada. Everything outside is Growth Share. And so with that being said, Lisette, take a second, introduce yourself to our audience and tell us what you do at KW.
Absolutely. Thanks, Linda and Pres, for the opportunity to be here. So my name is Lisette Montoto, as they said, and I am the Regional Development Director for KW Worldwide. Some people like to joke and say I'm the team leader of the world. I don't know if I'll go that far, but essentially I look for master franchise candidates that would be bringing Keller Williams to their country. So I'm looking for the Gary Keller, or as I like to say, the Gail Keller, because we're awarding to more women of that country or region and qualifying them. And, sometimes it could be a lengthy process. Sometimes it's 3 to 6 months, but I'm essentially the person that's going to take them through that opportunity and see what it is that Keller Williams is all about. Are they the right person we should partner with? And then we announce countries. So sometimes you guys hear about announcing countries, and that's kind of the process that's going on behind the scenes.
So I'm kind of overwhelmed just listening to you because I only had to go build Southern Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. I can't imagine recruiting for the world. So how do you even begin to find those people, just out of curiosity?
Sure. So believe it or not, my greatest lead source is our current Keller Williams agents. I want to grow other people's growth share, just like we all as leaders want to grow people's profit share, right? So as you mentioned, Pres, it's the same, but it's different. Why does it have different names? And hopefully maybe I can bring some clarity around that. But in terms of lead gen, to your question, Linda, our current agents is my greatest, my best leads come from our agents. And of course, for them, it's a win-win because they have an opportunity to grow their downline with Growth Share. We also independently will run campaigns on Facebook. But just because I'm running a campaign on Facebook doesn't mean your campaign on Facebook isn't getting any better leads or not. So that's an equal opportunity with an unequal reward there. And then, of course, just, through our network and going to industry events, things like that. But I would say those are the main lead sources.
Well, and what's funny is, you say Facebook leads, and I feel like a lot of people hear that and it just kind of goes over their head. No, like legitimately, y'all have gotten master franchise owners from Facebook leads, right? Like some of your best ones.
Yes. Our most recent region to join the KW family is KW Germany. And I found that candidate through a Facebook campaign during COVID.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it, Pres.
And, Linda, we yeah, I know that's it. We're running Facebook ads in other countries. What's amazing is we talk about this a lot, Linda, but every recruit is like a lottery ticket, and you never know what the payout's going to be. And so you never know, regardless of what lead source you're going to use, Facebook ads, word of mouth, referral, whatever, you just never know. And it could be the next franchise owner of Germany. Right. So I think that's amazing. Well, Lisette, take a second, talk about Growth Share, because it is different than Profit Share. There's a lot of similarities, but there's also differences. So help our audience understand, what is Growth Share?
Sure. I would say there's more similarities than differences. So I'll start there. So in terms of the similarities, it's the same worldwide as is the US and Canada. Anyone that joins the KW family names somebody as their sponsor, and that person has the opportunity to earn a financial incentive or reward for having helped grow the company. It's the same 7 levels in terms of the downline, and it's the same percentages as profit share. So all of that is the same. The way it's different is mainly 2 ways. First is the cadence at which it's paid out. It's paid quarterly at the moment. We are trying to move that to monthly, and I think we're real close. But you can imagine with all the exchange rates and different things going around the world, it's just a little tricky, but we're almost there. So that is one main difference currently. The other is what it's based off of. It's not based off the profitability of the market center, which is why we call profit share. It's based off of royalty that the agents pay. So agents pay 2% royalty in our worldwide regions on every transaction. And of that 2%, it goes into an account for growth share and then paid back out to the agents. What's neat about that is that once they hit their cap, they continue to pay royalty. So it's an uncapped opportunity.
Wow.
Lisette, that is a really big deal that I want to make sure everyone picks up on. Like that, that's really cool that that's an uncapped opportunity that you can continue to get. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yes. So imagine, and so then it matters too, also like what type of agent you're recruiting. Let's say you're recruiting a luxury agent compared to maybe a rookie agent. If that luxury agent is, paying that 2%, which they would be, and then you're getting, if you're the person they name as a sponsor, so you're getting 50% of that, which is 1%. So you would be getting 1% of all of their transactions closed, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. So are there any other key differences, or is that, it's really pretty simple.
That's the key differences. One thing you do want to keep in mind is obviously withholding tax for different countries differs. So withholding tax can be 0 in some countries. It can be 20% in other countries. It varies. So withholding tax is typically taken out of royalties. So just something to keep in mind if you're really trying to target. But to me, then you're kind of getting in the weeds. And I think you all know from profit share, like once you start to try to calculate, like how much could I make with this type of you kind of lost the big picture. And I think the big picture here is it's greenfield in a lot of places around the world, right? Like KW is not everywhere. And so obviously, if we're not there yet, the first domino that needs to fall is finding that master franchisor. And that's a very real opportunity to potentially get. Now, will that person be closing a ton of transactions as the master franchisor? Probably not. They're starting KW, it's a startup, they're running a region, they're then going to recruit sub-licensees who are going to open franchises or market centers, and then they're recruiting the agents, right? But more likely that person's going to have a pretty extensive downline because they're the first person there. They're the first person talking to everyone. They're the Gary Keller talking to the Althea Osbornes and the Linda McKissacks and the, the first foundational people. And what an incredible opportunity. So it's definitely the get rich slow scheme. But so that's kind of what you want to think about. You're looking for a master franchisor if we're not there yet. But if we've just launched, and think of countries with huge opportunities like Germany, Sao Paulo, Brazil, 44 million people. These are places that there's going to be a lot of growth, a lot of market centers, and a lot of agents. So if you can be getting, the word out and finding people, and you might say, well, I don't speak Portuguese, or I don't speak German, or I really want to challenge people's mindset about that they can be running Facebook campaigns. They can be asking people that they know that it might be from those countries, that have family members, that have friends there. So, try not to stay stuck in sort of wherever you live and be like, the world is not my place. Like I live here, and think about that opportunity because it's really limitless.
That's
there's this
incredible.
awesome tool called Google Translate. I would be whipping that out real fast.
Yeah.
April Mitchell on our team ran campaigns in Peru when we first launched there. She does not speak Spanish. She is learning, but she would use WhatsApp, and she had her scripts and she translated them, and she built a relationship with the team leader in that market center. And she just had to get someone interested to talk to that team leader, right? Remember, your role is not to recruit. Your role is to qualify and refer. So I would say there's really kind of 4 key roles. First, you want to identify someone, right? You want to identify someone in wherever there's the opportunity for Keller Williams to expand. Asterisks, there's some places we will not go. And you can look at that list of available on our website. I'll come back to that, but make sure you're working it where we want to expand to, right? So first, identify that recruit. Second, qualify them. If they're going to be a master franchise candidate, there is some qualifications you need to know. They need to speak English. They need to be very influential in the real estate market. They need to be valid, have grown a business in that country before. and they need to be very learning based. So someone that is open to maybe doing things a little different than they have previously. So that's the qualification part. If it's a market center OP, you might have different qualifications, right? They need to be a leader and influential, but maybe they don't have to speak English. And if it's an agent, you just want to refer them into that team leader, right? There's not a lot of qualifying to do. So that qualifying one becomes greater depending on the role. Then you want to refer them to me if they're a master franchise candidate to a country we haven't been to, or to a team leader in a current market center if it's an agent. And then follow up. That fourth one is follow up. Follow up with me, follow up with that team leader, follow up with your candidate. The fortune's in the follow up. We've heard that before. So I would say those are kind of 4 key steps.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. And what's funny is that's no different than what our community already does with our recruiting sites. We teach them that exact process to follow. That's just a good sales strategy in general. Lisette, one of the things that you said reminds me of a Gary Keller story. You talked about them needing to be learning based. Linda, we go to family reunion every year. And this past year, we had a lot of the French, our amazing French region come up to us and talk to us about how they're loving our podcast. They're listening. They want us to come to their family reunion, which we're like, heck yeah, that sounds great. And what's amazing is hearing them talk about what KW has done for their life. And Gary tells a story about how he sat down. Lisette, you may know the story better than me, but something like he sits down with a potential master franchise or someone who they're looking at that country. And he's like, I don't think you understand. Our country needs what your company offers. And I just get chills when I think about that, because I watch some of the people who, a lot of times we get used to what we have at KW, but you watch some of the new people coming in and you see what it does to their lives. And it's just really amazing. So Lisette, will you take a second, just kind of talk about that?
Yeah, I'm getting chills just you saying that. So
me too.
That's why I think I have the greatest job in the world. And of course I might be biased here, but it's because of the impact, right? So you could be doing profit share and growth share because it's a passive income opportunity. But like, if you are really passionate about having an impact, boy, have you found the right opportunity. Like you said, Pres, like we kind of take a lot of things for granted, particularly here in the US, of like how the real estate market operates, what's considered normal, such as licensing, MLS. Largely, those things don't exist in the vast majority of countries outside the US and Canada. So when you bring in models, systems, high-level training, technology, leverage, culture, all these things, it's something that it's just a completely foreign concept. And no one's ever talked to agents about how to build a business. And it truly is changing people's lives. And I don't say that as a cliche or like, oh yeah, we are literally changing people's lives. And they are living big lives. So like you said, some countries, like leaders see this and they're like, oh wow, we didn't even realize how much we needed this. And in some ways I view this as like, wow, we have a responsibility to bring this to the world. Like absolutely. We have these great tools, and if we just keep them to ourselves, like, wow, that's kind of on us, right? Like we have a responsibility to share this and to see the impact it can. Imagine you don't have an MLS, you don't have licensing. It's the wild, wild west. And you really have the opportunity to impact the market. Just yesterday, I was talking to our colleagues in Puerto Rico. They just crossed 700 agents in a single market center in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Agents have raised the commission that agents can charge, the value that they offer. I mean, they are literally changing the real estate market in Puerto Rico. Wow. I just use that as one example. They started with about 60 agents when they joined about 5 years ago, and this is where they are now. So I use that example just to kind of illustrate the power and the impact that these model systems can have.
That's awesome. I remember talking to Bill at one time. I can't remember, one of my agents had a lead somewhere, and I was shocked to find out that there was a country where, and I don't remember exactly which one it was, they didn't even have to have a real estate license to be a realtor. So did those kind of things matter when you're looking? Because I'm all fired up. Y'all watch out here now, because I'm going to figure this out. This is, the level of impact we could bring our culture to other countries. I got chill bumps listening to you. Oh my God, this could be game changer world over, and we all want to be part of something like that. But does that stuff matter? And is that why you've probably already figured all that out? It's on the website on the best places to go, right? Which ones we shouldn't recruit
Yeah.
to. Right?
So like you said, there is a list of available regions, and it's at so first our website is kwworldwide.com. And if you scroll halfway down the page, you'll see our current regions and our available regions. So click that available regions list to kind of know where we're going. Because as you said, Linda, we're not going to go everywhere. And it's not so much because of the way real estate is transacted in the country. Our kind of no-go list it's not no-go forever. It's no-go right now. It's typically due to economic, political, safety, just those kind of other factors that'll just, at the end of the day, we want to run a successful business. So it's a win for our franchisor and a win for us and for all those agents operating there. And unfortunately, I wish the world wasn't this way, but it is just the truth that not every market is ideal to go into due to those conditions, right? So we have a priority list. So we want to go to certain countries where there's great market opportunity, stability, culture of doing business ethically first before we venture into those. That's just our responsibility as leaders for this company, right?
Awesome.
So there's certain available regions there. But in terms of what the real estate transactions typically like, if there's licensing or not, or what the local commissions are that are paid, or we're not trying to influence the way the transaction is done in the marketplace. Of course, we want to introduce exclusive listings if it's only open listings. That will happen over time through the leadership of our franchisor. Of course, we want to be able to raise the commission if we're offering a lot of value and making sure that agents are know their value. But we're not going in with the mission to try to change the way the real estate transaction's done. What we're trying to do is take agents who are currently operating the market and bring them models, systems, and tools to learn how to be business owners, to learn how to be entrepreneurs, which traditionally, if whatever they know is about how to close a transaction, not how to run a business.
Gotcha. Well, Press and I were shocked. We looked up not too long ago that Australia hasn't gotten anything yet. That's kind of shocking. Is there a reason? I remember
Linda, don't be giving away my secret. That's on my targeted list here.
Yeah, well, the reason I say that is because I remember a gentleman through a mentor I had years ago, and he lived sometime in Australia, and he knew the head of this one big company that's a big company there. And I could have swore he was interested at one time, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if we weren't ready at the time or what happened, but is there anything in particular that keeps that country from being, I would have thought they would have been on the front end.
Sure, because they're English speaking. It is tricky though, because they are on the other side of the world. So to jump in on our Zoom trainings and things, it's kind of the middle of the night for them, or real, so time zone for the other side of the world is trickier. But they had some local labor laws that really prevented our model of a high growth, high volume, low margin model to be as easily adopted as before. Now, I do think there are some changes happening, and that's something we're actively looking at, but that was sort of a context of that like basically the labor laws and how that worked. And that was a challenge for us initially. But, most people ask me like, well, why are we here and we're not there? Like, sure, we have our priority list and there's strategic countries we definitely want to prioritize, but ultimately the main reason why we decide to sign an agreement and move forward is because we're in relationship with the right leader. So it's always the who that comes first. And so sometimes with countries, it's just we haven't found the right leader yet. And, for most master franchises, these are 20-year agreements. So, it's a marriage. So you really want to be sure. And so sometimes it's just not the right fit. But sometimes there could be something going on locally with the country. But if they're on our available list, we're willing to explore it for sure.
Well, Lisette, you said something interesting. You said, I didn't think about this, but you got all these different time zones. So what I want to know is what's the latest or earliest recruiting appointment you've been on? Have you had any middle of the night appointments?
I've had some pretty late ones and I've had some pretty early ones. So luckily when I first started the role, I had a little 1-year-old baby. So time was sort of an amorphous thing, the concept that I didn't really get to live by anymore. But yeah, and that's can be a challenge. Like our Malaysia regions, sometimes we're having regional leadership week this week with our regions from 8 to noon Central Time. That's real late for them.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That's crazy.
Do we
it's a
get-
challenge for sure.
Do we give out growth awards? I mean, have we started recognizing people who get the most growth share?
We have not yet. We have not started that. We just had our KW Worldwide Awards ceremony for the second time this year at Family Reunion in Anaheim.
Oh,
And that
cool.
was mainly focused on our regions themselves. So we have not started the kind of Growth Share Award
Linda just
journey
what
yet.
she's asking because she wants to know what the benchmark is.
She is
so she can go
like,
after it.
right. And I actually have some agents that refer in pretty regularly to me who have asked that question. So I feel like the seed's getting planted and we might need to look into that.
Well,
Well,
and I
listen-
think immediately I'm going to call Carrie after this because I think my growth share money, because France is in my downline, South Africa is, but something happened where they did some kind of, sometimes they do a corporation or
Lapse.
something, and the
Mhm.
person that that got someone in my downline anyway, it doesn't work out as well. But I think I want to say Gary and Nikki have made like $100,000 on growth share, and I'm like, okay, we're not talking about this enough because that's a lot of money real quick. And because they're in my downline, that puts France in my downline also. But I think mine just gets direct deposited. I might have to start saying, hey, I want to, we don't get, I guess we can look it up the same as we can look up profit share.
There's growth
Yep.
share statements.
Mhm. There
Okay,
are growth
well,
share statements.
I think my
Yeah.
CFO's hiding them from me or something, but I need to pay attention to that because I think that would make me pay more attention. Definitely.
And there is a lag because it's paid quarterly. And
Yeah.
so they're not there right away. It's not like profit share. We're on a certain day of the month. I think it's
Yeah.
the 21st, right? Is it today?
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's why we
actually,
do our podcast today because
okay. No
Yeah.
best day of the
coincidence.
month.
no coincidence. It drops on the 21st also. So whatever, I don't know what episode we're on, but one will drop today. And so we're training people to pay attention to the
I love that.
21st. And then plus it's a day you won't forget. So hopefully
Yeah, so
people
we will get there, but that it does make it a little challenging, admittedly, in terms of tracking it, right? Because there is just that delay. But I think with grocery, you just got to focus on the big picture.
Yeah.
So try not to stay focused on like, well, how much did I earn this month, or well, how much?
Yeah.
It's really like the most growth our company is seeing right now is outside the U.S. and Canada. If you looked at the results, like that's just the truth, right? So.
And there's a massive opportunity. So let's, go ahead, Lisette.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say so I guess sort of in kind of wrapping up here, what do you want to leave our amazing profit share listeners with around growth share? Like, what are the things that if they go back and implement and do will help them go take advantage of this opportunity?
I love that. So first of all, just kind of, I think the half of knowledge is knowing where to find it.
Mhm.
So make sure you're plugged in with Worldwide. We have a Facebook page. I do weekly Facebook Lives on there with agents or leaders around the world. So follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, just to kind of get the latest. Also, if you go to our website, KW Worldwide, you can sign up for a monthly newsletter. We usually give hints out there to where we're really strategically prioritizing to recruit from. So you can kind of stay focused. And then also our latest announcements. Some people might say, oh, Germany had already launched. I'm like, that's the opportunity is just starting. Like they are about to award market centers and start recruiting agents. So a lot of ways it can kind of tip you off to where you can really focus your recruiting efforts. So get plugged in with us, I would say is the real message I want to say to people, and to just change their mindset maybe around looking at the growth share opportunity, because again, they might feel like they don't have connections around the world. And so the opportunity is not for them. You can build those connections. You can make those connections. I do not have contacts in every country in the world, but I talk to people every day. You can lead generate, ask people who they know. And it's again, just the impact and the opportunity that way that it can have for people. We had over 400 people from around the world at Family Reunion this year, speaking languages from all over the world. Portugal had over 80 people there. Like the impact is real.
That's awesome. So exciting, man. What a major way to change lives. I'm super pumped. I think this is like awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well, Lisette, thank you so much for being on our podcast today. And again, remember, KW Worldwide is where you go if you want to get more information. They have some amazing resources like what regions are available, what regions they're just moving into. They've got
what our current regions are. Yeah. So like there's landing pages for all our current regions. You can go to their websites. You can go click their email. And now listings from all over the world are on kw.com. So more and more listings are showing on kw.com. So don't, limit it to brochure and profit share. You can also be referring to agents all over in our network through the referrals applet and command, through seeing listings on kw.com. So when you're at the closing table with your clients, remind them that you're part of a worldwide company. You can be referring within our network, and that's going to be a win for you too. So that's like a real message I want to drive home to people, is that they are part of a global company. We are in 58 regions outside US and Canada, so 60 total right now. And we want to get to 100. So it's your choice listening if you're going to be a part of that growth story or not.
Love it.
Cool.
Love it.
Well, Linda, anything you want to close us out with?
No, I mean, I just want to go get started. I think this is the best thing we've heard in a long time. And I think we need to hear it more often, because it is kind of over there. And so we tend to not pay attention to it, but I think we should start talking about it more with our profit share group. And just, all of us need to be thinking about it more. You and I did get the chance to talk to France and to see how their lives was changed. You and I both were moved by that very much when they came by the booth. So I was excited about that. And I really saw the impact in their lives. So that makes me more excited to go out and change even more lives throughout the world, because I think once we do that in some small way, we may help people with our culture to have better lives and to do business differently. And wow, who doesn't want to do that? All of our lives were changed. So let's go. Let's don't stop in the US and Canada. Let's go worldwide.
Go change the world.
Yeah, love it. So if you have not, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe. And the greatest compliment you can give Pres and I is to get this Profit Share podcast out to every Keller Williams associate, especially those in your downline. Jump over at profitsharemastery.com and check out all the tools we have available to help you build your profit share and change lives. So Pres, I'll see you next time. Lisette, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity.